Hey, Rockin' Stangs, how we doing? Actually, this is only going to be, I guess, for guitars, keyboard, maybe drums. That's about it. The other guys don't really need to see this. Basically, we're going to talk real quick about the Nashville Numbering System and how it works to really pare down the complexity of some of our charts that we can read. We can make connections a lot easier through chords, and we can make it easier to read and track through a song. Okay, instead of having all the lyrics and chord symbols changing all the time, you see a pattern and you go, basically, okay? So with this first tune, Higher and Higher, with all Nashville number systems, generally you see the key in the corner in a circle, all right? So for the majority of the song, we're in the key of C, and then we change to the key of D for the very, very end, all right? If there's a very repetitive pattern that happens throughout the whole song, it'll just be listed at the top, and that's what you play for the whole thing. In this song, it's a happy accident that our first song happens to use the exact same chord structure, 4 chords, all the way through. So I'm just going to zoom in here so we can have a look at what exactly it is we're doing. In the key of C, all right, in any key you have the chords, you have chords that are built on different scale degrees, different notes of the scale, all right? So as a quick little example, let's just use some white space here. In the key of C, you have the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, and then of course C at the end, which is the same as the bottom, okay? In the key of C major, the chords you can play are generally C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, although we rarely use diminished chords in rock music. And those are the chords that exist in the key of C major. The other way to understand these chords is to think of them as the chord built on the first note of the scale, the chord built on the second note of the scale, chord built on the third note of the scale, and so on. Okay, and then when we get to the top, we'd say 1 again. The other thing to know about the Nashville notation system is that when you have a minor chord, you generally put a little M as well. Right at those spots where you have a minor chord, you would, instead of writing the chord E minor on the page, you'd write 3 minor. Or instead of needing the note G, you'd put a number 5. And that might seem at first a little bit more confusing. I know what a G chord is. Why not just write the chord G, and then I know exactly what it is? Why do I have to see the number 5 and translate that to a G? The reason is that there are so many common chord progressions and common patterns in rock music and pop music that instead of having to write each time individually, regardless of the key, you can write 1, 5, 4, 1, or whatever the number system is, whatever the chords pattern is, and that pattern can apply to any key, right? For example, let's say we were playing this song in the key of C and we're doing it fine. In this case, in the key of C, a 1 chord is a C chord, a 4 chord is an F chord, a 2 minor is D minor, and then the 1 is C again. So this pattern is C, F, D minor, and C. C, F, D minor, C, C, F, D minor, C, till the end, all the way through, okay? When the song changes key at the bottom, right, down here it shows D major. We're changing into D. The pattern is exactly the same. It's still a 1 chord, 4 chord, 2 minor, and 1. The difference, though, is that we're in D major. If I was writing out the individual chord symbols, C, F, D minor, C, then when we get to the bottom here, I'd have to write the new version of 1, 4, 2 minor, 1 in the key of D major. I'd have to write D major, G major, E minor, and change the chord symbols you're seeing. Whereas this way, all I have to do is say the song goes 1, 4, 2 minor, 1. It does that for a long time in C, and then you move to D and do the same thing. The pattern doesn't change. It's just the key that changes, right? So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to understand why we do that. Just for reference, in the key of D major, we have, hang on. let me get back to a red pen here. We have D major. In the key of D, we'd have D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, etc., and D at the top. Okay, but a 1 chord is always the first note of the scale. A 4 chord is always the 4th note of the scale. All right, so that's essentially why the Nashville Numbering System is so popular, because if you understand scales, you can just write a pattern using the Nashville Number System and throw a key at them, and you can change the key 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and the musician will always know what chords to play, right? Especially, this comes in especially handy when you're arranging music for another singer, or you're trying to write music. You know what, I think let's go to a 4 chord here. No, we're gonna change the keys into A flat major. Oh yeah, okay, instead of a 4 chord, let's make it a 2 minor chord. And the people can fly with you and not have to change every single chord and every single symbol because of the key signature. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If it's still kind of weird, let me know. Just as a quick recap, in the key of C major, the pattern of 1, 4, 2 minor, 1 is C, F, D minor, C. Okay? Once we move into D major, at the bottom of the song, the 1 chord is now a D, the 4 chord is G, the 2 minor chord is E minor, and the 1 chord back to D. All right? All right, the last thing I want to talk about is just basically how to read the order of the chart, the structure of the tune. Okay, because this is about what the chords you're using. From here down is the structure. Okay, so I know I wrote here intro, bass, and kit, and keys. We'll basically go with how the recording starts off. We'll start with some drums, then some bass, and we'll add in things as we go. The hook is often, for our case, for our band, it's going to be whatever the horns are playing. So you'll hear that ba ba da ba 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 da ba, and they have a pickup into this little hook. Verse 1, so it'll be verse, chorus 1, verse 2, chorus 2, all with this same pattern. It doesn't change. All you have to worry about is listening for the different sections of the song based on what the singer's singing, etc. Okay, so we move on through the hooks. Through another hook, which is just the exact same melodic riff that you'll hear out of the saxes and trombone. A third verse, a third chorus. They're going to play another hook again, this time with a guitar solo in the middle. So Cody, you can take something in there. We'll do another chorus, so you'll hear the vocalist come in again, and the horns will be playing their thing. And then we'll move into the key of D major, where you carry on playing the same structure, 1, 4, 2 minor, 1, but in the key of D major. And we're not going to do a writ. We're just going to finish the song exactly the way it says, the way it is recorded. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. We can do a quick Google chat, Google Meet, if you want to. We could do things live that way, just to explain and clarify a few things. But that's the gist of how Nashville Numbering System works. Some other charts you might see in slightly different formats based on the needs of the song, and I'll explain those if we come upon those situations. All right. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.